God Save the Queen with Ray Gunn, who are members of a band that was concomitant with Government Cheese. 1159 were their name back then. They were from Murfreesboro, and they did a lot of gigs with Government Cheese. And they could do the hell out of Surrender by Cheap Trick. They could hit the high note at the end. Anyway, what they do now is they play as Ray Gunn, and it's a whole bunch of 80s covers and 70s. And we're talking about doing a real show together that's a Tommy Womack show, but it has sort of a review quality of it. Like they'll do 3 cover songs, and then I'll come on because I'm the star, you see, and we do a bunch of Tommy Womack songs interspersed with things like God Save the Queen, or my version of Pump It Up that I do, where I do the lyrics to Subterranean Homesick Blues, but the tune is Pump It Up. It's pretty cool. And just make it something more interesting for the people. You get a few songs of mine that you may or may not have heard of, and then you get A Million Miles Away by the Plimsolls. You know, that's the kind of show that we're looking to put together, and we're wanting to bring it to Bowling Green, and we're in talks to play somewhere in Nashville as that. This coming Saturday is a Ray Gunn show, and I think I'm playing a couple of songs, and I think it's at the 5 spot, and that's all I think I know. That's how I keep up. In other news, the God's Table project is humming right along. I've got a second list of artists that I'm going after. If you didn't catch it last week, we had a great recording session where we overdubbed voices by John Hyatt, Gretchen Peters, Marshall Chapman, Mary Gaucher, Webb Wilder, Amelia White, and Peter Cooper. And wish me luck. Wish me luck. Keep me in your thoughts and prayers as I actually call some of these people. I've gotten some cell phone numbers I'm not supposed to have, and I'm calling certain people, asking them directly if they would please sing on it. And we'll have another big session, and then we'll get the video ready. Talking with, saw Susan Adcock of Open Table Nashville the other night, and we're going to have a cup of coffee at some point, I know. And I need to get in touch with the Little Pantry That Could, because even though I've long already said that 50% of the proceeds will go to the Little Pantry That Could, I've never actually talked to anybody there yet. See, I just, that's just the way I roll sometime. I don't think they'll mind, you know, the money, let's say. So that's what's going on with God's Table. I'm going to Wyoming again in September, this political symposium that I got to play with Marshall Chapman a couple of years back. Well, I'm going back there again. So that'll be 5 days in Cody, Wyoming, fly fishing and riding horses and eating some great grub and listening to a bunch of pontificating around a table by people who are in some cases famous, or at least famous in their field. And this year I can't put anything up on Facebook about it. You know, that kind of, I got a little in trouble last time for doing that. And then in the evenings, Marshall and I play music for them and entertain them. And that's how we sing for our supper at this thing. So I'm excited to go back to Wyoming. I get to fly on a Gulfstream, going there and coming back. And I can tell you this much: the major domo of the whole retreat is former Senator, former New York Knick Bill Bradley, who, I don't know, we're friends, I guess. You know, it's more like, I don't know if I'm friends with the guy yet. We spent a weekend in Wyoming before, and we're going to spend another one. And maybe my charm will finally overwhelm him. Okay, let me see. I'm recording a new album in fits and starts, so the retirement is going very well. 4 months off the road. I miss it, but I played a show at Dee's the other night solo, and it was great fun because I brought 4 guitars with me, and none of them was an acoustic guitar. I did a solo show with a Telecaster, Fender Music Masters strung an open A for bottleneck Delta blues, an Epiphone Biscuit with a P90 pickup strung in open E so I could play Elmore James style bottleneck blues, and I brought my 12 string, and it was musically interesting, and I had a good time doing it. And I think I'm going to do more shows like that in the future. You know, I haven't gotten the bottleneck Delta slide thing out in public in years, and you know, I'm trying to get my chops back. I was a pretty fair, you know, I know about 3 Robert Johnson licks and about 2 Muddy Waters licks and 1 or 2 Elmore James licks, but it's fun to do. I can't claim to be Sonny Landreth, but you don't come to my show for Sonny Landreth. If he becomes available and I can afford him, you might, but you know, the future is uncertain and unwritten. God bless you. Don't let the bastards get you down. Rock and roll. Have yourself a great Monday and a great week, and I'll see you next week. God bless you. P.S. How can I be so remiss and miss the biggest story of the week? The official release of my single on Need to Know Records, Side A, a commentary on our times called We'll Get Through This Too. We got through the Civil War, Vietnam, and Rocky IV. We got through World War II, and we'll get through this too. How the hell did this all happen? It surpasses all understanding, but we got through James Buchanan, and we'll get through this too. We're in uncharted waters, that much is true. But God will smile upon us if we do what we must do. And that's to love each other, shake each other's hand, stop with all the insults and do the best you can. And more. There's more to it than that. Backed by Feel Beautiful, one of the favorite songs I've ever written. Lamar Sorrento did the cover art, and you can go to TommyWomack.com and get you one of those. You can get yourself a Cheese Chronicles. You can get yourself my latest memoir, came out in November. It's been getting great notices and great feedback. 5-star reader rating on Amazon.com for Dust Bunnies. So pick yourself up one. Christmas ain't too far away. That's it. And I'm going to invite you to have a cup of coffee with me now, because I don't think I've had a sip where I invited you to have a sip with me yet. So here we go. Cut.